Welcome back to the show. My name's Ben. I'm your host, Ben the Paralegal. And today we're going to talk about a day in the life of a process server. And I want you to know a lot of paralegals occasionally will have to do process serving. I actually did process serving professionally for 10 years while I was a paralegal. And today we're going to talk about a variety of things that go along with process serving. Number one, the tools of the trade. Number two, how much money you can make. Number three, what happens when it gets a little confrontational. And then number four, what you need to do after you serve the papers to make the serve complete and legally binding. And then five, the kind of people who are going to give you business. So today, I'll be talking to you about all those things step by step. And I want you to know I've been asked by lots and lots of subscribers to make this video. And then in the future, I'm going to try to upload videos. I have them because we have the body cam that we film all our serves of people we've actually served. Some are friendly, some are not friendly, some are a little confrontational, and then some are just kind of indifferent to it. So first of all, let's talk about the equipment that's required to serve papers. The first and most important thing you need to serve the papers is the legal papers. So whether it's an attorney, another process server outsourcing the work, or a member of the public, you're going to need to have the papers scanned and sent to you electronically. That's the way we prefer to have it done. Some clients who are older, don't use technology, will come in and drop them off. We'll still scan them, email them a copy, and give them back the originals. So we're going to have 3 copies when we serve papers. 1 copy is for the person we serve, 2 copies go to the court, if not 3, and then we're going to get a file stamped copy and give it to the end user. So the next most important thing we're going to need is a camera. So what the camera is going to do, just like police wear a camera, is it's going to get rid of any reasonable doubt or any discussion about whether service was completed legally or even done at all. I want you to know that when you give these videos to either members of the public, attorneys, or even third parties, they'll go to court, the other party will say, why did you get served? Didn't happen. And then the attorney or the person you're working with or member of the public will go, Your Honor, I have it on video. And the judge will look at it in real time in the court and go, you got served, let's move forward. So when you're working directly with attorneys or law firms, you're not always delivering documents. Sometimes you're giving them money to show up as witnesses. There's a variety of things you could be serving. You could be preparing service packets, reviewing legal paperwork, filing documents with the court, completing proofs of service, communication with attorneys and legal assistants. When you're working directly for members of the public, it's usually much simpler. It's a divorce decree, it's a petition for guardianship, it's a subpoena, it's a request to provide income records like W-2s and pay stubs in the case of a divorce. So what we're going to do is, once we get the documents, and once we get our camera, some people use a body cam. I actually use, when I do it, just another iPhone, kind of down by my waist, and I turn it on and flip the camera around. And then also, for me personally, I'm going to need some caffeine. I got to get some coffee. I'm going to go serve some papers. And then the fourth thing is we got to realize that even though there's a lot of hype and stress and anxiety around process serving, you're knocking on doors, you don't know what's going to happen. It is a little bit of an adrenaline rush. It will get your spidey senses up. But really, we're just here to provide a service. 99.99% of the people who answer the door are going to be polite, respectful. You will have 1% that are evasive and or confrontational. And those can be different. So we're going to get the papers, we're going to get our camera, we're going to get our coffee, and then we're going to get the address, we're going to go out, we're going to serve the papers, and you're going to drive all around the county sometimes. And then one thing people don't realize is when you're serving papers, you're literally in your car all day. You'll typically drive between 35,000 and 50,000 miles a year serving papers. You'll go to the county you're in, you'll go to counties next to the county you're in, and you usually go to probably 3 or 4 local courthouses depending on where you're located. Some process servers travel across multiple counties every day. That's a tremendous amount of fuel, maintenance, tires, brakes, and vehicle wear. So make sure that you factor this into your pricing. I'm here in the Bay Area, just to give you a heads up on pricing. It'll be $125 for a general serve with 3 attempts. It'll be $175 for a rush, which is usually tomorrow or the day after. And then it'll be anywhere up to $250 to $500 to serve 1 or more people in the same day, whether it's subpoenas. A lot of times attorneys will serve other attorneys with time constraints, with hearings and things like that. And then you want to make sure also that when you're serving these people and you're recording it, what we do is we use an iPhone because it can get really long and very difficult to send emails to your clients. So what we do is require that if you want to receive the video, we'll send it to you via iPhone, and we won't send it via email because it's just not an efficient use of our time. And then also we keep the videos for our records to make sure we did everything correctly in case they try to maybe file some kind of litigation against us as a company. We were polite, professional, we delivered the documents, and we didn't do anything aggressive, intimidating, or break any of their rights, because you have to be very careful around people's rights around their homes. And I'll save those kind of things for a different video. Finding people legally is often just as challenging as serving them. So some process servers will do what's called skip tracing, which means you'll find where their PG&E bill is or their cell phone bill, and you're kind of just looking for a needle in the haystack. We don't do that here. We require you give us the addresses that are good. We do 3 attempts, and if it's not done because the person doesn't live there or won't answer the door, we'll give you a certificate of due diligence to the court, and then you can obviously request for evasion of service and request to have the legal documents published in the newspaper, which I will also do in another video. So the reason I carry a mobile hotspot and have to have internet access, and by the way, you're going to have a printer in your vehicle so you can print out documents in real time. Sometimes you'll be on the way to serve a client, and the attorney will call you and go, oh, I forgot this document. I just emailed it to you, but you're already out in the field. So what you're going to want is a printer in the back seat. I know it sounds kind of funny. It's a mobile office, and you hook up your printer cord, your hotspot, your laptop, and you'll print it out right there. So another reason you're going to want to have a mobile office is you're going to go to the courthouse, and sometimes you're going to not do things correctly, you're going to get things mixed up, and you need to print in real time. And a lot of times, depending on what court you're in, they have local papers, local forms that you're required to have that you wouldn't even know about. So these rush assignments would simply be impossible, and the efficiency of the job would be impossible if you don't have access to the internet, your cell phone, and a printer all the time. Sometimes in rural areas, you're not going to have service when you serve, but you always come back to a city. I haven't been in any courthouses where the internet doesn't work. So some days I drive 100 miles, some days I drive 500 miles. I'm actually in the office. I'm an indoor cat now, but I do occasionally go out and do serves. And I will tell you that it's a little bit of a rush because, you never know who you're going to meet. And just to give you a couple negative stories, because they happen, is I did have a gentleman who was intoxicated one time. He was on a rural property. There was a cattle gate. I walked in. I served him a divorce decree with a bunch of other kind of nasty things in it. And he did have a gun with him. He was on his own property. He didn't point it at me. He did tell me that he was going to do something to me with the gun. I won't get into particulars. And I just said, no, thank you, sir. I walked calmly and patiently the half mile back to my car. And then, he said a bunch of pretty nasty stuff to me at his cattle gate. I went on my day. He didn't do anything negative. I didn't call the police. Everything was fine. So when you have a negative interaction with a person who's aggressive and usually kind of walking after you, that happens a lot. They kind of walk after you and say nasty, argumentative, rude things to you. We just want to say no thank you. And we want to get back to our car, which is our safety place. And we want to go ahead and get in the car and leave. Unless they do anything really crazy, I would probably recommend not calling the police. If you're sensitive and you get your feelings hurt with people saying nasty things to you, probably don't want to be a process server because that's probably going to happen to you. Certainly happened to me. It's not that many times. I've probably done 1,000 serves. I've had 3 or 4 people kind of get in my space and be physically aggressive, and then I've had about 30 people say really horrible, nasty things, and I've had hundreds try to evade service. So what I want to do today is talk to you about the things you're going to need to serve the papers, which is the papers, the body cam, the coffee. Okay, you're going to need a printer in your car, you're going to need a hotspot, and then you're going to need to be able to do everything you do in an office in your car. And then another thing too is you have to be in contact with all your clients in real time. So when you do a serve, what we're going to do is we're going to let the client know whether it's successful or not successful. We do everything via text where I work. So we get the client's phone number, and then we text them, and then we immediately send the video when the serve is successful. And then after it's successful, we'll go ahead and draft the proof of service. We'll digitally sign that. Everything's done through e-sign and DocuSign. And then once we file it with the court, we'll either e-file or file it in person, depending on the file. We'll get it stamped, and then we'll go ahead and get it back to the end user, whether it's the person who's getting divorced or the attorney that represents the person. And then also we'll always request a Google review because those are magic. It makes the phone ring. And if you're interested in building your skills to work in the legal field remotely or be a process server, I want to let you know my name's Ben, the paralegal. Be sure to check out ProParalegalUniversity.com, where we teach practical skills to help you get started and grow your legal career, including process serving, being a paralegal, and also being a legal assistant. Until next time, stay grateful, stay blessed, stay caffeinated, and be careful when you serve papers. God bless you. I'll see you next time.